I'm Joe Kane.
I'm Dan Kane.
I'm Sal Conca.
And I'm Wayne Heckler.
Welcome to the Imperfect Podcast.
Be sure to visit us on our website at hecklerkane.com or on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The links are in the description below. And I'm Wayne Heckler. Or not.
I like it.
In the news.
So this week was the big opening for Suicide Squad, headed to hit $140 million. What do you guys think?
It was the biggest summer release for Fandango in pre-sale tickets. So
that's interesting.
That's a good thing.
Not without its controversy, though. I don't know if you guys heard, but there was a petition going around to shut down Rotten Tomatoes. There's apparently in response to bad reviews, Suicide Squad fans are really peeved, telling Rotten Tomatoes that movie critics, don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah, but isn't that the point of Rotten Tomatoes is to give reviews and put them together? It's not even their reviews.
They're sitting at a 27% right now on Suicide Squad, so I guess we're gonna have to give our opinion after we go see it tonight.
Yeah, next week's podcast will be on the Suicide Squad.
So we found out this week that Stan Lee confirmed for a cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
That's a big surprise.
Oh yeah, no, he's probably in the most Marvel. He's probably been in more Marvel movies than any other actor. He's got a cameo in Spider-Man and this one
everything.
and that one. So
is there any movie of any Marvel movie he's not been in? Anybody know?
Not that I can
one
guarantee you.
A producer is saying one.
I think the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
The first Guardians.
Yeah.
He wasn't in
the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Maybe that's why this is such big news.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, welcome to the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Resident Evil, the final chapter, the teaser trailer was released this week. It features Mila Jovovich, who plays Alice in the upcoming film. Full trailer scheduled to be released on Tuesday, and the film is due out in January of 2017. That's it in this week's news.
Interview with the makers of Swivel Shot, the short film.
All right, so we're here today with producer Christopher Glatis and actor Rick Ravanello from the independent film Swivel Shot. It's an independent film that features two LAPD police officers at the height of their love, plan to surprise each other with joyful news. Unfortunately, a day that could have been beautiful for both proves to be the most challenging day of their lives. So, Chris, what brought you to make this film?
Well, I wrote a feature film a few years back that was about, it's called Big Bear. It was about two married special operatives, and they were trying to thwart a terrorist attack in Los Angeles and do it actually in a very unique way. And, looking on the outside of it, you would think that it is an action film and relationship between two people working in a very dangerous job that love each other. I don't know if any of you are married, but the challenges that brings just in itself are tremendous. And if you have kids, and then to throw in working at a job that potentially you could die every single day, something about that just kind of piqued my interest, and I started to explore that. The script went around. Almost got made, and then I was like, I want to do a short. I hadn't done a short film. I hadn't been behind a camera in a while, and I wanted to do a short. And so I'm like, immediately living in LA, I kind of took those two characters and made them LAPD officers, easily recognizable, and really wanted to explore more of the emotional thread than kind of the even though it is a thriller, just to have that emotional thread through there. That's what attracted me.
Cool. So, Rick, what drew you to the film, and have you worked with Chris in the past, or, how did you get involved?
Well, Chris and I did a movie together a few years back called Dose of Reality. It was myself, Firuza Balk, and Ryan Merriman, the three of us in a bar. And I had not met Chris prior to that. I remember going to an audition a year prior to that film actually ever being made. Doing what we do, you walk in, you do your stuff, you go home, and you forget about it. And a year later, I got a call asking, basically giving me dates, and I'm friends since then. So that movie, kept us together. And then Chris came to me with Swivel Shot, and I read it, and I knew it was a short, and I haven't done a lot of shorts, which is odd because in the last year and a half I have done a few more shorts because the content sometimes can be stronger. That message to the audience can be stronger than what a 90-minute on film feature film can actually represent. Sure. What I say and what I ask of every director is like, what do you want your audience to walk away from? I had those conversations with Chris, and we both, I think, personally in my mind anyway, we had differing opinions of where to go, whatever. But the cool thing, guys, is that collaboration, and Swivel Shot required a collaboration.
Yeah, and I think that spoke to a number of different things, right? I mean, that collaboration that you guys had, you really did deliver the message home that you wanted, right? It was also it was shot beautifully, and because it is a short, you have this opportunity to tell a succinct message in a very brief period of time, as opposed to long format films that, how many times you see a long movie, how much filler and fluff, and you didn't need that scene, and the last 20 minutes could have been cut, and all those types of conversations happen with a long film, right?
Well, personally, I think what you guys are endeavoring and what Chris endeavored with this is tougher than that full length feature, because like you said, you've got your 14 pages or whatever, and you've got 14 minutes or whatever it is, and you've got to send a message out there. So congrats to you guys for going, and endeavoring in the short film thing. I know it's a stepping stone, to the full-length feature and all that sort of stuff. But Chris has already done the full-length feature, so to come aboard with him on this was really quite amazing, and to watch the evolution of it occur as from the day we started meeting with actresses to the day we got on shooting. So
Rick, anyway, we know you've been acting a long time. Chris, how long have you been making films?
A long time, over 15 years. So it's been, I started out actually, writing was my true love, and I think it's because I tend to be a little bit more of like, I can be by myself very easily, and so the writing thing is fantastic. Doesn't cost you any money except you can say time, money. But I started out writing, and then finally I started to get the bug, being on the set in school, and when I got on the set, what you guys were just talking about, the collaboration, and that it was so fun just to be on the set with other people who, are all specializing in different areas, but are also really creative, and it just blossomed from there to want to be behind the camera as well. And direct.
The importance of collaboration. I'm going to throw this out there to either of you. I've worked on both sides. I've been an actor. I've been a director. I've been on both sides, and to me, it's absolutely priceless to be able to collaborate and come up with the ideas. Can you give me an instance where the collaboration came through in this film?
Absolutely. We had a moment when we were. Without getting into actual real specifics, because I don't want to give anything away, but when I think, Rick, we were talking about the characters and where they were coming from, and as far as I'm trying to figure out how to deliver this. You guys have seen the film, but without giving anything away. But basically, I had a completely different idea of Jacqueline, who plays the female officer. I had a completely different idea of her kind of background and what she was going through in this movie. And then Rick, we were just sitting at a table having lunch, and he's like, "Well, what if this happened? What if we gave her, what if we just flipped that on its head?" And actually, I sat there for a minute, and it's interesting because the first thing that usually happens is your ego will jump up and go, "Well, that's not my idea. Like,
yep.
I can't let that happen." And then I go, what's the best for the film? And Rick had a great idea, and Jacqueline agreed with it. So, pretty much it was something that you might not get by watching the film, but it clearly changed Jacqueline's character and how she approached the role. So, and that could be what I just said could be for anything. I mean, I've had situations where people come to me, Rick or whoever I'm working with didn't like a take. I like the take I just had, but I want to give them that opportunity to, as long as the time is there and as long as it's available and we have light. I think it's tough. As a director, you have to really stand up for what you believe in, but you also have to be a traffic cop, a psychologist. You have to have all those things going on at once. And I think if you just ask yourself what is the best for the movie, you can really, it helps out tremendously. But collaboration is absolutely key.
Yeah, and it goes back to that, what Rick was saying before, right? Having that core to what you want to deliver to your audience and what's that message. So it's kind of like, I have a business background in marketing and all that stuff. And a lot of businesses that we run and then looking for their marketing campaigns, we always have this premise where we start with why. And, it's like, it's easy to talk about what you do and how you do it and all that stuff, but why are you doing it? Really comes to the crux. And that's what we talk about a lot, about projects that we're working on. It's like, as really kind of like beginner indie filmmakers, a lot of times we're struggling with which projects to go with, and we're trying to figure out, well,
It's
why?
the why.
It's the why. Why are we going to make this project? What's really the point?
I think any project that you go into, you have to ask yourself, well, I'm going to invest time in this. I'm going to invest myself into this. And am I willing to go for the next, month working on this project, the next 2 months working on this project? And where do you go with that? And again, why?
Exactly.
Well, guys, if I could interject, I want to throw something back to you as filmmakers, and Chris and I have had these conversations as well. I mean, again, to what I was saying earlier, are you looking at the message that you're sending out there and how it's resonating with the audience? I mean, ultimately for me as an actor, and I would think as filmmakers as well, I mean, we need to attach to an audience, because the audience is what's going to give us the opportunity to go on and make the next film. Yep. As an actor, as a producer, as a director, So I love what you're saying about why. I think everybody has to ask that very question. So why am I playing this character? And I'm not blowing smoke, whatever, but I turn down, projects that I think maybe I shouldn't turn down sometimes because it might be a paycheck, but I turn down projects because they don't ask why. And it doesn't give me an opportunity to ask why. So now all you got is a sludge that is running around with what you guys deal with as filmmakers, which is a headache in itself. What are you putting out there? So, it's really interesting back to what Chris was saying, and I just want to say this. For me with Swivel Shot, it wasn't putting on a uniform or a costume and becoming a cop. For me with Swivel Shot, it was about being a human being. It was about being this man who was in love with this woman, and they happened to have this hurdle in their lives, which happened to be their jobs, and they got in the car together that day, and so on and so forth. It had nothing to do with the uniform while I was making that movie. It had everything to do with the love that I had for this woman and the consequence that we happened to be in because of the uniform. And I don't know if actors look at it that way enough. I think we put the costume on and we become a character. That's bullshit. It's about discovering myself within that story. And believe me, guys, we all have a little bit of every script that we read. There's a little bit of something in there that is our own that we can bring to it. Yeah. That is special and nobody else on the planet has.
And that's awesome. I mean, it's great to talk to somebody that has such personal integrity, right? That they bring to their roles in their career. I mean, that's the goal for all of us. We all just aspire to do what we love and influence people around us and our in our sphere.
Just come from a place of truth.
Yeah. Whether
you're writing, whether you're directing, whether you're producing, especially if you're acting, just come from a place of truth, man, and everything falls into place. And that's what I love about Chris's writing, because it's so raw and it's so, you have to think when you read it. And I do a lot of TV, and you don't have to think at all. I can drink and smoke and do whatever the fuck I want, just show up and do the shit, and nobody really cares. But it's just,
we're doing it on the reality.
Yeah.
Independence and these shorts, and when you have that slight time frame, and you have to show up and you have to be set. That's exciting. That's
sure.
People talk about, you did a short. It's like, fuck you. Of course I did a short. You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. You couldn't bring it to where it has to go. So some of the best work that I feel proudest about in the last couple of years have been these little shorts I go out and do, because hey, I got some time. We give back to the community as well, but
Well,
That's not the way I look.
you'll find a lot of the major actors are going back and doing indie films too, just for the street cred, right? I mean, they're going. A lot of folks are going back to do indie films because they want the street cred, so to speak, for better or worse. I mean, some of them are probably doing it for the right reasons, and some of them are doing it literally because they think they're going to get the street cred.
The fact that movies get made that actually are finished is mind-blowing to me. I mean, you're taking, on a bigger film, on my feature, we probably had 40, 50 people from beginning to end, maybe more than that. You have all these people, all different personalities, all different schedules, egos, everything. You're shooting a movie, you're shooting something completely out of order. The actors have to ride these emotional waves, and they have to do the end first. It blows my mind that movies even get made. I've always said that I think that everyone on this planet should be on a movie set for one day just to see what happens. And most of the time, they're bored to hell, and they're like, is this everything? Because when you see a movie that then wins an Academy Award that collectively everyone's like loves, that is like the hand of God coming down and just blessing the whole production, because you see movies nowadays, they have all the best people, all the best actors, and they end up being crap. So that shows you that even though we have all the best people involved, it could end up like shit.
It's funny. So our podcast last week was inspired by an article on Screencraft. I'm sure you guys maybe have seen the website Screencraft, and they did a blog post called "Why Hollywood Makes Bad Movies,"
and that's what our whole podcast was.
Our whole podcast was last week about why Hollywood makes bad movies.
How long did the whole process take of the filming? For example, what was principal filming? How long did it take you in pre-production and post-production?
Pre-production was fairly quick. I mean, I don't, as far as writing a script, I don't really consider that. I mean, for independent films, you could be writing a script forever, So,
sure.
And I'm trying to remember when I first contacted Rick with the script, but, I would say off the top of my head, it probably was a couple of months, working on the script and that sort of thing. And then I had to start developing a team, and I got a producer on board. For a short, you don't really need to, even a feature, you don't really crew up an independent world until the last minute, because you never know, people could be just running off on other films. So then once we kind of got the basic mold of what we were going to do, the shoot was 3 days. We originally were thinking about maybe 4 days, but it's one of those things. If I had a week, I still would have been like, man, I wish I would have had 8 days.
Yeah, of course.
And so I kind of liked having that little pressure of shooting it a little quicker and saving a little bit of money and maybe putting more of it into post. Post, we ran a little long. I tend to get kind of crazy and anal in the editing room, and so I just take my time. And so I think probably a couple months there too, but for short, that's a pretty extensive period of time. And we were taking breaks and stuff like that as well.
It wasn't your full-time gig, so I mean, obviously that wasn't.
No. I mean, what I do know is I think we didn't even really I don't think we rehearsed, Rick. We didn't rehearse. We just had we just had some talks about it, because I don't like to. If we're going to rehearse, we'll do it a little bit. I don't want to rule. I want that energy to be there for the set. Mm-hmm. But it was 3 long days, and we were, right up to the last minute on the third day, like losing light and all that sort of thing. So
I think our film geeks will probably want some more technical stuff. So Chris, what do you shoot? What do you shoot on? What did you shoot on for this film?
That we should use the Alexa. It was the first time I've used the Alexa, which is unbelievable. It was funny when I was interviewing DPs. They all said, we want the Alexa. Obviously, it's the camera nowadays. And what we didn't say is that when we were riding around, South Central with this LAPD car, we had a $250,000 camera hanging out the window, and usually you're being pulled. So Rick's on the left side of the car, and that thing comes out pretty good distance. So I was like just praying that we didn't clip anything. So we used the Alexa. Paula Hidobro, who's an unbelievable cinematographer, she's worked with I'm trying to remember his name, Badlands, and I'll remember in a minute. But I really wanted to go with like a real kind of a real grounded in reality feel, like being right there with everyone. And I look at the film now, and I'm actually thought, Terrence Malick, that's the director she's worked with, Second Unit, and I almost said that it looks almost too beautiful. I could have used it looking a little bit more rough.
The shots are amazing.
We're looking cinematography wise, I was totally blown away. For a lot of these indie films that are like at this level, you're not seeing something of that high of a quality like coming out of an Alexia, as you were saying.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I was looking at this. I was really. It was beautiful.
It was beautifully
It was a
shot.
beautiful picture being painted. So
which is a great irony to the grit of the story. Like to me, a little bit. You know, you have this beauty because it lures you in. The beauty of the cinematography, like. It makes you feel safe in some regards when you're watching it, and then as the story unfolds, you know, you really, you know, we all know how it unfolds. So you know, it's great. I love the way it was shot. So
Well, it's interesting also. The thing I look at like cameras and equipment and everything. The equipment is only as good as the people behind it. I mean, you can have an Alexa and it'll look like crap. You know, I mean, you have to have the people who. You know, that's why even if it costs me a little bit more money that probably I don't have, I'm like, I need to have these people surrounding me. And that goes back to the collaboration thing. You know, I can't. I mean, I know how to operate a camera, but I don't know if I could get an image like that. You know.
can we ask what was the budget for a film like this?
Oh God, I'm trying to remember now after post. I think it was somewhere around 25, maybe probably more than that. Somewhere in that zone.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean that's great. I mean, you know, for the type of quality that you guys had and that type of budget. I mean, you know, it's with a lot of filmmakers going with Indiegogo and other things. I mean, that's an attainable number to be able to film something very professional, right? And shoot something that can tell a real story. I think a lot of people, independent filmmakers, sometimes I think they need much bigger budgets to make something that looks like this. And the reality is you may not.
And a lot of times they can't get it because of you're looking at a budget and looking at something like this, like a 14-minute short, and going, I need X amount of money to get that, and you're going, I need $5 million. It's not going to happen.
But that's when you put your brain cells together and you put your thinking caps on, and I mean you can go out and you can shoot your shorts for. I mean I know they're shooting them 4 or 5 inside of 10.
Yeah.
And they're looking great. But people always ask about the relationships in the industry. I mean, I'm blessed that I have a relationship with Chris Glatis right now that, Chris is going to go off, make another film one day and whatever. And, we have that connect. We understand each other as far as where I am in front of the camera, where he is behind the camera. And we put that in our little tool chest of relationships we have in the business. And, I've gone 2-3 years where I've not talked or collaborated with that director or that writer in the past, and then the phone rings, or nowadays with social media and you get that call. The most important thing of what we do is maintaining and nurturing the relationships that we have in this business. So now we're back down to shooting short films that really resonate and make a difference. I mean, look at 25, 20, 5, 10. I mean, it all comes to locations, the crew that, when I go to work, my crew is the most important part of everything I do. It's not my director and producer. Sorry, guys, but it's the truth. My crew is that's the group. And guess what? I see those guys time and time and time again. And also, guess what? Those guys are moving on. Have you ever seen a first AD who wants to remain being a first AD? That guy wants to direct. And then the phone rings and he's directing. He said, hey, man, you know what? You got to come do this with me. It's all about relationships. And then those numbers that we get to make those, whether it's a short or a full-length feature, indie, whatever, they start dropping because we got those people, that want to come and want to work with you, and you want to work with them, and so we collaborate again. Back to that question earlier, and we make great films. And Dose of Reality was one of them, and
also digital. I mean, digital now has changed everything. I mean, when I first started, it was film, and I've been shooting a couple documentaries. I went out and bought a camera, and I'm a one-man band. I mean, I'm doing everything. I'm operating the camera. I'm shooting sound on the camera, and the documentary cinema verite style is easier with that. But I'm pretty sure I could probably shoot a short using. I have a C100. It's a beautiful camera. I mean, the images are beautiful. it's not Alexa, but you get a I have a Ninja that I run it through. It's basically a C300, and the images are beautiful, and so you can do things, and you just buy the camera. You don't rent it, because by the time you finish renting it, you're going to spend more than buying the camera. So
what's next for Swivel Shot? I mean, has it already been in festival, or are you guys waiting?
Yeah.
Or
we were at CineQuest up in San Jose, which is really, I had Dose of Reality there too. It's a great festival. We had a blast up there. We had, here's the thing. With shorts at film festivals, it's kind of tough, because depending on where you're placed, like, you could be in a pack of short films, and if you're in the middle, your film, the features are really what everyone wants to see. Now, I'm generalizing, obviously, because there's short films at some of the bigger festivals that go on to become features and all sorts of things. But so I guess what I'm saying is it's great, but you have 100, 200 people see your film. Or now, again, online, with the way things are going, things can catch on and go viral online, very, very quickly. Now, we are online now. I've got a couple festivals that I'm waiting to hear back from. Even festivals now are okay if the film is online, because they know that people are releasing. They're not going to wait. So I'm waiting to hear back from a couple more, and we're just seeing how the response comes in through the online websites.
I just want to commend you guys for going out and doing the independent thing, because as an actor, when I see an independent, I get excited. And that goes back, and that really started with Chris and Dose of Reality, because we don't look at independence as really paying the bills. They don't.
No, it's not.
But you go out and do them, and what's amazing about having had the opportunity to do Dose with Chris, it became this little thing that started to pay the bills, because he allowed me an opportunity to go out and go to this place and play this character that I had never been offered before, and it's Chris, I'm not paying you commission on this, but it went off, and people watch that and they go, wow, that fat, chunky looking guy that lives in Palm Springs can actually do this stuff, so we're going to hire him. So I think actors are stupid to turn down things just because of the paycheck, although it is a job for all of us. We all want to make money, but back to the collaboration, if we come together, we put a great product out there, and we all understand what we're trying to do, and we can reach those audiences, we will make the money, guys. And don't ever tell yourself it's not about the money, because the money gives us the freedom to go out and to act and to produce and to direct.
Yeah, well, we really appreciate you guys' time. I mean, for us, as much as, we have this podcast as a forum for independent filmmakers and actors like yourselves, as well as indie musicians. So, it's really a treat for us to meet two great guys like you. I think we're really enjoying this, and, we see it as...
We were looking forward to that, to meeting you.
It's educational for us as well. So, on the selfish side of things, we learned a lot from this as well. So, and we hopefully our audiences will as well. So,
and just keep getting the word out, man. It's good to see that guys are getting. I mean, this is helpful. You're giving this out for free to people, and I think it's really cool to inspire other people.
Thank you to Rick and Chris for sticking around and talking with us. If you haven't checked it out yet, check out Swivel Shot. We'll have a link below, and that's it for the Imperfect Podcast. Thank you guys very much.
Take care, guys.
Bye, guys.
It's great to meet y'all. We'll talk to y'all soon.
Take
Cheers.
care.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Thank you.